Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum everyone. Today we're gonna presenting about types of interstitial sites and their importance. And this is our group. We have Ku Ahmed Ashraf and myself Muhammad Nazrul Hakim, Arman bin Muhammad Roslan, Arif Haikal bin Roslan, Muhammad Arif Najmi bin Nur Hashimi, Muhammad Azib Syami bin Hassan, and lastly Muhammad Ibnu Haikal bin Muhammad Tayyib. So, what is ceramic? Ceramic material are made of atoms or ions that are arranged in order repeating pattern called a crystal structure. As you can see at the figure shown, there was the example of atom, which is the atom at the edge and at the surface. Between this atom or ions, there are small empty space within the lattice. So what we call this empty space, these empty space are known as inertial sites. Inertial sites play a vital role in determining the properties, stability, and performance of ceramic material. So next we go through inertial site. So inertial site are the vacant position located between regularly arranged atom or ions in a crystal lattice. This site can be occupied by smaller atom or ions without disturbing the overall structure of the lattice. The formation of inertial site depend on the geometry, arrangement, and packing of atom or ion. You can see the figure in the slide. They shown a lattice atom, tetrahedrosite, the green one, and the purple one, tetrahedrosite, which is Zn4 and Cn6. So, why are inertial site important? First one is it enhance structure stability. Proper occupancy of inertial site help maintain charge balance and strong bonding, leading to a stable crystal structure. Second, influence physical property. Why? After density, hardness, thermal stability, electrical conductivity, and ionic conductivity of the ceramic. Next, facilitate ionic movement. Provide pathway for ions to deflow through the lattice, which is essential for many electrochemical applications. Next, determine material performance. Control how ceramic behavior under mechanical, thermal, and chemical environment in real-world application. Last but not least, the important is essential for advanced ceramic application. Critical in technologies such as battery, fuel cell sensor, semiconductor, and other high-performance devices.
For interstitial sites, we have two examples of it. The first one is tetrahedral site, and the second one is octahedral sites. I will explain the surface about this because my friends will explain it in more detail. For tetrahedral sites, it have 4 surrounding atoms. Meanwhile, octahedral sites have 6 surrounding atoms. The size of octahedral is larger compared to tetrahedral sites because the maximum radius of octahedrocytes is 0.414 times the radius of the host atom. Meanwhile, the tetrahedrocytes is 0.225 times the radius of the host atom.
Okay, for this slide, I will explain about tetrahedral interstitial site in ceramic material. Tetrahedral interstitial site is a small empty space inside a crystal structure, and small ions can fit into this space. As you guys see in the diagram, this space is surrounded by 4 atoms. These 4 atoms form a shape called a tetrahedron, which is why it is called a tetrahedral site, because there are 4 surrounding atoms, and the coordination number is also 4. This means each interstitial site is touching 4 nearest atoms. Okay, we can find this site in ceramic structure like, for example, like zinc blender and spinel structure. In this structure, small ions like zinc 2 plus or other small cation will sit in this space. These sites are important because they help make the crystal structure stable. They also affect the strength of bonding and the properties of ceramic materials such as electrical and mechanical properties. One advantage is that they helps atoms pack more tightly and neatly, which is it can make the structure become stronger and also more stable. However, the limitation and also disadvantages is that only small ions can fit into this space. Bigger ions are too large, so they cannot enter. In short, tetrahedral interstitial sites are very important in controlling the structure and properties of ceramics like zinc blende and spinel. That's all from me.
Hi, now we add octahedral interstitial site. First, we can see the definition and the geometry. So, it's located at the edge center of the BCC unit cell. It's surrounded by 6 atoms. As we can see at the figure, at axis we have a 4 atoms and y axis we have 2. And next, the coordination number, or we call it Cn. It have a 6 atom, as I mentioned before. And next, the occupancy in BCC alloys, we have oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen generally prefer octahedral site. I mention this because this is the most energetically stable at or on octahedral interstitial site. And the example we have four. Firstly, we have a sodium chloride and titanium dioxide, nickel oxide, last but not least, the peroxide. And the advantage, it makes a stable site for small interstitial atom, which is it increase yield strength, hardness, and solid solution strengthening. And the limitation, limited space for interstitial atom. It make a high concentration because of lattice distortion, elastic strain energy increase, and last but not least, possible precipitate formation. So the conclusion is octahedral is the most important role in BCC because it influences the mechanical strength and also the functions.
Now, let's look at what actually keeps a ceramic material stable. It really comes down to two major factors, ionic radius ratio and packing efficiency. First, the radius ratio shown on the left tells us how well cations and anion fit together. If the ratio is just right, they fit perfectly without distortion, giving us a highly stable crystal structure. And secondly, we have packing efficiency, which is all about how tightly these ions pack into the lattice. As you can see, with structures like fast centicubic at 74%, tighter packing directly translates to a denser, stronger, and more thermally stable ceramic. Building on that, let's talk about how these factors impact structural stability and crystal formation. As you can see on the left, a perfect low stress lattice keeps internal energy low, directly boosting the ceramic's hardness, durability, and resistance to thermal shock. On the right, we see how the ionic radius ratio dictates the actual geometry of the crystal, whether it forms a tetrahedral, octahedral, or cubic arrangement. When the ion arrangement is well ordered and proper, we get defect-free crystal that maximize overall stability.
Now I will explain about key properties of ceramic and why they are important. First, ceramic are very useful material. We can find them in daily life like mug and also in advanced use like spacecraft. Their properties help engineers decide how to use them. First, we start with thermal properties. Ceramic can handle very high temperature because they have a high melting point. That's why they are used in furnace and rocket component. They also have low thermal conductivity, so they are good insulators. This means they can keep heat in protecting from heat. Some ceramic also have thermal shock resistance, so they can crack easily when temperature changes quickly. Next is mechanical properties. Mechanical properties. Ceramic are very hard and wear resistant, so they are used in cutting tools and medical implant. They also have high compressive strength, which means they can support heavy weight like in brick and concrete. but ceramic are brittle, so they can break easily under tension or impact. This is their main weakness. Now let's look at the chemical properties. Ceramic are chemically inert, which means they do not easily react with other substances. They have excellent corrosion and chemical resistance, so they don't rust or degrade even in harsh environments. This makes them suitable for laboratory equipment, chemical industry, and cookware. Another important property is biocompatibility. Some ceramic can safely be used inside the human body without being rejected. That's why they are commonly used in dental crown and joint replacement. Finally, we have the electrical and magnetic properties. Most ceramic are electrical insulators, meaning they do not conduct electricity. This makes them very useful in power lines, insulator, and electronic components like spark plug. Some advanced ceramic also show semiconductivity and piezoelectricity. This means they can convert mechanical energy into electrical signal and vice versa. These properties are important in sensor, sonar system, and ultrasonic device. That's all for me. Thank you.
Next, continue on the industrial application of interstitial site knowledge. This means that the application of the knowledge being used in industries nowadays. First, the application of interstitial site is it can be used as a catalyst. Second, it also can be used as energy storage because of the different charge. Third, it also can be produced as an alloy. And finally, it also been widely used in biomedical treatment. Limitation of interstitial site. First, only a small atom can move into the interstitial site, such as cation. Second, it can disrupt charge neutrality due to the presence of impurity in the site. Third, if too many atoms fill the interstitial site, it can cause instability of the structure. Fourth, the effect of filling the interstitial site is hard to predict. And finally, the temperature can interrupt the sites as it can excite the atom in the site to move out from it. Finally, the conclusion of this presentation. First, interstitial site effect of materials properties whether desired or not. Second, the industry widely use this application of interstitial site and continue to develop new use. Third, the understanding of the limitation of interstitial site has been utilized to enhance the material properties based on the needs of industry.
And that's all from us. Thank you.